Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we're here to talk about all things BK Beauty. I've got some sale information to give you, and I really want to devote the bulk of this video to talking about the brand new collaboration between Lisa J and BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose. We have the Nikki LaRose brush set here, kindly sent over by the very lovely people at BK Beauty, and I want to thank them for thinking of me. I am so glad to have you here with me. Don't forget that you can also follow me over on Instagram, TikTok, and on Threads. Now, before we get into this really beautiful Nikki LaRose brush set, I want to give you just a little bit of information about the upcoming BK Beauty Black Friday sale. It is going to be Thursday, the 16th of November through Monday, the 27th of November. It'll be 20% off site-wide, not this new Nikki LaRose, because it's brand new. So this won't be part of it, and it will be something totally separate, but everything else will be site-wide, 20% off. If you were to buy a bundle of brushes, as BK Beauty often bundles with savings, so if you buy the bundle, that would be combined 35% off. And I will put a post for that with links and everything in my community, just to kind of remind you in the community news and over on Instagram and such. But this Nikki LaRose set will not be part of it, but everything else will be site-wide 20% off. So gear up for that, start counting your money and getting ready. But what I want to take the majority of this video to do is to talk about this new collaboration that BK Beauty has done with Nikki LaRose. You probably know Nikki LaRose already. She does have an extremely popular YouTube channel, and she is, of course, a working makeup artist, just like Lisa J is. So when you put two makeup artist heads together, it's all good things. So right now this is sold as a set, a 7-piece set for $180 over on BK Beauty. I have linked it below along with all of the products I'll be talking about today, so you can get over there and look at the Nikki LaRose set. I've also put down in the description bar information on how you can join our $4.99 a month members only channel, where we have weekly members only lives. We would love to see you there. These brushes are really innovative, and BK Beauty is innovative already, and these push the bar even more so, which makes sense because it's Nikki LaRose. BK Beauty are the only synthetic brushes that I routinely and regularly use. I have a few synthetic brushes that I really love, a few, but BK Beauty is a brand while I will use solely synthetic brushes for the entire face. And I am a bit of a brush snob. I like the finest brushes out there, and I love BK Beauty. They just do it right. And even for those of us who get really into natural hair brushes, when you want to go synthetic, to me, this is really truly the only brand that passes muster. I'm just being honest in terms of synthetic brushes. They're beautiful. These are interesting too because we have some different kind of fiber options and colors. Now these are dirty because I've done the demo already, but I have been playing with them. For instance, if we take this brush here, we're going to talk about this. You can see we have two different sides. We're going to talk about this, and this isn't product. It actually goes up into the colored brushes. Beautiful. So we see that a lot with these brushes. There's kind of a theme there, and they have these beautiful shiny lacquered handles. Lots to discuss. So what I want to do now is go to the demo. I think it's more fun to talk about the individual brushes while we use them rather than talk about them first. It's just much more fun to use them while we chat. So let's go ahead and recreate this very simple look using these very simple yet elegant, beautiful, vegan, synthetic BK Beauty Nikki LaRose brushes. Let's go right now. Okay, I have nothing on my face but some skincare from the morning that has all sunken in. I am going to use these brushes kind of the way I would use them if I weren't here in front of you. No shame. But there's many different ways to use these brushes, and you don't have to just stick to one way. In fact, in Lisa J's video, she talks about a few different ways to use most of the brushes. And I'm just going to use them the way they come kind of naturally to me. We're going to start with this N16 Pro Concealer brush. This is a little longer, so it really shears out the product really well. And I'm going to use it with some Gucci concealer today. I'm going to just put the concealer around my eyes, just using the doe foot of the concealer. And then I'm going to show you the way I use this brush to kind of get around that. I'm going to put some kind of polka dot myself with it because I'm not going to use a very heavy foundation. And I'm just going to let it sit just for a moment. And we are going to use this N16 Pro Concealer. So I'll show you how I use it. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of starting here where I need, I'm letting it sit a little bit up there because that's where I need it a little more. And look at how this beautifully, I'm really using gentle, kind of circular motions to kind of spread this concealer. And I really love the way it picks up the product. Being the synthetic brush that it is, it really spreads it really nicely and doesn't absorb it. So it evenly distributes the product. And I'm just using, I barely even have to press here, you guys. And I'm able also with these long, kind of flexible bristles on this, I'm able to get in around my nose because I get a little red. I have bad allergies. So I'm able to get in there. And then I'm also able, with the concealer, to get into the inner corner, which you guys know I call my dark pits of despair. And I'm able to really get in there and use the concealer. I don't have any foundation on. I'm actually doing concealer first. This would also work really well for color corrector. Okay. And so that made a really nice base for me to be able to put a foundation over. Now there's two brushes here that could be really good for foundation. One of them is the N15. This is the Precision Medium Powder Brush. I think I'm actually going to play around a little bit though with this N17, and this brush is super cool because it's got that tapered detail and it's got a lighter side and a darker side. It's like that Batman villain with two faces. So I'm going to use the lighter side. You can use this for powder, but I'm going to use the lighter side for cream foundation. And then this side is really good for powder, but we'll use it two ways. Okay, I thought today we would use this Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Skin Tint. It's light coverage because I did a lot of coverage with that Gucci concealer, which is a really good concealer. So I'm just going to put some of this on the back of my hand. I actually ended up putting a lot of it on the back of my hand. But I am going to use this, the lighter side of this brush for this, just to kind of gently spread it on there. And this is really nice because it's a really kind of flexible brush. And so I really like the way it works, especially with a light coverage foundation like this, because it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of spreads it on really nicely. It's really wispy and airy. And so it just puts the foundation on in a really light way. And when I have heavy concealer like we did, I don't feel like I need a lot of coverage. I just kind of want to even out my skin tone. So I'm going to go with that there. And I'm using, like I said, entirely the lighter side of this brush. I don't mean lighter in terms of weight. I'm sorry. I mean lighter in terms of coloring of the bristles, because this has, you're seeing the back side, which is that darker brown side. Okay, and so I really like this Bobbi Brown. It's almost like a skin tint, very light coverage. And I used that side of the brush. I could have used the N15 as well, but I really like how that applies it. And I think my base looks really nice, kind of flawless and done. Okay, I'm going to go off camera and just kind of do my brows, and then we'll come back and demonstrate some other options we have here in front. Okay, I just kind of did my eyes a little bit, some mascara, and I did my brows. I'm going to now take the back side of this brush, the brown. We used this for the foundation portion, but I'm going to take the back side of it and take a little bit of this Charlotte Airbrush Flawless. Remember the white version of it that she did? And I'm going to take that with the dark side of this brush very gently and show you how I can set all of that underneath my eyes just a little bit using that, and because it's tapered it just goes right in there. And I'm also going to set, this is where I tend to use powder around the nose. As I told you, I get a little red there from allergies, and then a little bit on the T-zone just to mattify the shine, and we're good to go. I could have also used the concealer brush for that. The Pro Concealer brush would have gotten in there as well perfectly. In fact, any of these brushes would have, but that's just what I chose to do today. I change it up a little bit. Okay, let's get to work on the rest of the face. I want to look at some bronzer. So let's bronze with this N15 Precision Medium Powder Brush. This can be used to set powder, It could be used, in fact, on the T-zone like I did it, but it can be used on cream or powder. Let's bronze with it. I'm going to use it on a powder bronzer, but it would be equally nice on a cream bronzer. This also is Charlotte Tilbury, just kind of what I grabbed out of my collection there. And I'm just going to kind of warm up the face with it. I'm not contouring. I'm just using this to create kind of an ethereal, just gentle warmth around the face. Not doing anything fancy. I'm not capable of doing anything fancy. And I don't mean that as a put down. I just mean, you know, Lisa J and Nikki LaRose are makeup artists. I am a beauty editor. So I'm just doing the best I can. But these brushes help me do it a little better, right? Okay, so I just warmed up the face with it, but I could have used this. It's beautiful on cream bronzer, and that would work well. It just picks up a little bit more product than another brush would, just the way the density of the hairs, the little bristles and such, it picked up a lot more product, so it's easier that way. But that makes it really nice on cream products also, because I know generally I like to saturate a brush with a cream bronzer, so it can work for that. Okay, but I feel like we're kind of set now in terms of the complexion. Bronzed it up a little bit. We've got some concealer on and foundation. Feeling pretty good there. Okay, now I'm going to take this N14. This is the Petite Precision Multitasker. And I'm going to use that with a little bit of highlighter. And for this, we'll feature this beautiful Tom Ford highlighter in the pink shade. This was a new one. So I'm going to take this brush here. Look at this brush. This could be used for a lot of different things. Again, it's a multitasker, so you can even use this on the eyes. I'll tell you how I would in a moment. I have some highlight on it here, and I'm going to use it just to really precisely apply highlighter. It might be the shape of my face, but I don't like widespread unless I'm doing a cheek topper. If I want a specific highlight, I like to use a brush like this because I want it to be very precisely applied. I don't want it just kind of everywhere like a mask, so I really like it for this. The other thing that I would use this brush for, when it's completely clean, I would also use it to kind of blend away any harsh edges on the eyes. Now I have small eyes and I have hooded eyes, but if this did not have any highlighter on it now, if it were clean, it would be great to kind of blend in. You know when you get some harsh lines and want to blend those away? So I think it would be really nice for that also, and that is also what I will use it for. But today I highlighted with it. All right, I brought over an RMS blush in the shade French Rosé, and I'm going to go back in with the Precision Medium Powder Brush, and we're going to use that also on cheeks. I know I already bronzed with it, and I'm fine with that. I put bronzer on the cheeks. Look at how much this picks up. Now, I warned you, I said this picks up a lot of product. So I'm just going to go like that and get some of it off. And then I'm going to put this, look at how gently I'm touching my face. I don't know if you can tell, but it's still really placing a nice amount of product. And then afterwards, it disperses it really nicely. So again, going in, tapping a little bit of it off, then I'm just going to tap it on with this because it's going to put on a nice amount and then kind of disperse it. And nothing happened to the placement of, this is kind of a glowy one, so that works with my highlighter that I'd already put on. And I don't mind that it already had bronzer on it because they both were on products on my cheek, and I have no problem with that. Okay, we have 3 more brushes left to use, and I wanted to just do something gentle and light today, and I love to make everything an entire face situation. So we're going to use this RMS blush in French Rosé and this new Tom Ford highlighter together with some of the eye brushes here. So the first thing I'm going to do, and a little bit of the bronzer too from Charlotte Tilbury. The first brush I want to use is the Precision Pro Blender. This is the N13 brush, and you can see it comes up to another shade there, and is really, I mean, I could use this for powder too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Charlotte Tilbury bronzer that we put on earlier on the face, and I'm just going to dip this brush into it, and then I'm going to go back and forth and just try to help my creaseless crease here, because I have very hooded eyes. And it just gives my eyes a little bit more depth, just a little bit more depth. And that's what we're going to be working with today. Now, I could do a much more complicated eye look, but that's not my forte anyway. I'll leave that to Lisa J and to Nikki LaRose. But for me, I'm just using these the way I would get myself together to get out the door in the morning. And look how pretty that's looking. Super easy. Okay, now this is the N12 Ultimate Smudger, and it is a little bit wider than the other BK Beauty smudger brushes, but I like that. It will do two things for us. It will put on, it will lay down product, and it also will be a great liner. So let's go ahead and go into the blush, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it because it's nice and wide, just to lay down this product on the lid of the eye. You don't have to use it that way, but that's how I'm using it. But you could also line with it. So I'm just going to lay down product on the eye. You can also lay down some product on the edges of the eye. This is great for that. If you're doing a more complicated look, for putting maybe a darker color on the edge of the eye. But you can also line with it. So let's take some of this underneath, and I'll show you. I can get right in there. And I love this about all BK Beauty smudger brushes. They just get in there really tightly and really nicely. So you can, again, if you're doing a more complicated eye look, you can take this and really get something like a nice color here, or a nice darker, almost like a winged eyeliner. You could even go into an eyeliner and wing it out with this really nicely. Speaking of winged eyeliner, how about the Ultimate Angle Brush? I think there's only one other one like this in the BK Beauty collection, and this is also going to be wider. Again, this will do underneath the brows. This will wing out a liner. This will line. I wanted that blush that I used under the eye to show a little bit more, so I used the N12 for that, as you just saw, but this would make it really up at the lash line. Look at that, right in there, or line with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Tom Ford highlighter, and I'm going to go in with this brush because I'm just using it, why not, and I'm going to go right here really gently with it, put that in, and then maybe right underneath the brow, just right underneath it, because it's so precise, and it's going to give you that get in there really good. Now I'll show you here. I'll go into that bronzer we were using and get up in there, and then I can also take that bronzer and not take up a lot of lid space, but just darken just at the base of the lashes as well. So that's a whole look. Not only did I just use this one brush set to do everything, I used all face products, including on the eyes, which does happen to be a favorite look of mine. I just think it's simple and easy and really works. For those of you who want vegan, cruelty-free, good synthetic brushes that wash easily, are reliable, can be used with cream or powder, this is the set. These are beautiful. Go ahead and ask me any questions that you have below. That's what makes us a community. I'm happy to do any comparisons between these new brushes and the existing BK Beauty brushes, or even if you're deciding between natural and synthetic hair brushes, I can do some comparisons. We have so many new brushes released. I can do some comparisons with Sonia G, with Wayne Goss, with Reffer, whatever you need. I tend to do that over on Instagram. Just ask. I'm super happy to do that for you guys. I know there is a lot of products to choose from. These are a beautiful alternative to natural hair. Very reliable, very pretty, and I'm just as happy to use these. I really, truly am. They're lovely. So make sure that you ask me those questions below. Please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe, and I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.